And you can't spell dissociate without disco. Or oats. I'm very loud, or rather, I'm not very loud, the game is very loud on my end. Hopefully that's all fine. Right, let's get a shift on. Yeah, as may be obvious, I've slept about as well as Harry normally does. Possibly a bit worse. A little black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirrup. People keep telling me to chirrup. But I have downed a bunch of coffee, so hopefully we'll get something out of this. Might just be a garbled mess, but rust-eaten letters read Mazut. Alright. What's that one? Quickly, Kim, we have to connect the dots. Or at least make them disappear. Looking back at you from the rust-coloured water, you. Well, at least I'm not a vampire. Oh, hello. You should come back here when it snows. A strange feeling, it passes quickly. Oh, I suppose it isn't snowing for once, actually. It was before. The rear tyre of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. But that's not my one, so I can't be blamed for it. Really? Oh, I have to go all the way around. You can't jump over the puddles. That would be a bit too much agility. Oh, people. Bars cover these long, dusty windows. Hello, long, dusty windows.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
Is that me, or is that you? Is that me? Okay, I'll go for it. A blonde man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching, and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez?
Oh, see, now
I'm
he's...
from Heilostam. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Yeah, see, the ambiance, the music, whatever, was very loud, and then as soon as he started talking, it was too quiet. Luckily, I don't think me fiddling about with my volume affects the stream. Hopefully. Hopefully. What are you talking about, hypertext man? Why are you smiling so much?
Nice to meet you.
Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
That doesn't... if that doesn't help.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Punch him. What was that about windows? I know what windows are.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Alright. Screen glare is a real thing. You and Kim know each other, proceed?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed colouring book. I don't know how I'm meant to pronounce that.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
Oh, worms. That clears that up then.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
I'm the most interesting landmark in Revachol West. You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a thing at all. Could I have some of that unimportant money then?
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general terms.
He looks uncomfortable, his left hand squeezing his son's shoulder, as if it were money.
I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown. It wouldn't be wise to carry huge amounts of cash on such expeditions.
But it would be kind.
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed. He looks surprisingly buff.
Oh, does he?
Does he work out?
Just completely sidetracked from... We're creating a whole new conversation here. By the way, do you work out? How much do you lift, even?
I do some Lomantang stick fighting now and then.
What the fuck is that?
It's an anthropological heritage of the Lomantang people. A martial art of sorts, but what not a lot of books mention is that it also carries a cultural significance among the Lomantangs, as it used to be the best means of showing off to look for a bride, which...
Are you looking for a bride with martial arts? I can tell you now that won't work.
Interestingly enough, brings us to the socio-economic structure of
Oh,
the traditional
yeah,
rural
that's definitely where I
tribes of
knew
the
that was going.
Lomantang Isles, which...
Thank you. He goes on to give you a detailed overview of their way of life, the amiable, slightly nervous smile not once leaving his face.
But anyway, I'm boring you with details again. You were saying...
That's alright, I was going off on a weird one. Speaking of going off on a weird one, my snake, Monty, is particularly fidgety today, so he keeps distracting me by falling off everything. It should be fine, though. He's never once broken out of the glass. Yet. I don't really remember what I was saying. Yeah, that's true.
Then I guess everything got said, right?
No, not necessarily. Sometimes you just forget, and sometimes it's really important stuff, or really funny stuff, or stuff that could improve your stream. What's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
I feel like a lot of people, especially any people who were actually, in the vicinity, could figure that out.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Running and diving. I don't know. What's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
He smiles brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Nope.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
You are a bookhead. Literally. Look at the building.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
Yes. What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building. that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Oh no, a tape computer.
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. What happened?
Indeed. What?
That's what I asked you.
The revolution!
What the fuck? I've never seen you speak before. Maybe that's new.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other building, then continues.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
I'm not one to talk about emphasis on words, but I think you meant to say Martinet proper, not Martinet proper as a resort for the... But it's fine. We're all losing our minds here. You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk. Look at your feet, under your feet. What's under your feet? Chewing gum, probably.
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
What the fuck? Do I want to ask?
A pleasure wheel?
Yeah, I don't think I want to know about this. The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
Tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Decret de Mars.
Yes, huh?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
Right.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually.
Is
The
it?
singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombecer d'Insolente. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree.
Oh, we've all got a concept album.
I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden behind the book.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Okay. How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers? Are you gonna say anything I can understand?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word
At
has
least
it
partially
they were
tape,
very
I would imagine.
elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team. Trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
He did, yes, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one to pick up on
He
that.
did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Yost? This is all ninsy-pinsy garbage for sissy people.
Ninsy Pinsy, okay. Right. The Wompty Dumpty Dom Centre, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Joost. What are you talking about?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Yep. This is bollocks. You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center
Stop saying
is
it!
a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
I don't think I've ever been in the market for any of that.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Pfft, I've seen cooler things than that. Like people who can actually go instead of whatever I just did.
I certainly haven't. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The failed playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Well, that's revolutionaries for you. They like to set fire to things. Yeah, what?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the failed playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. I desperately want to ask something else.
But of course, what else?
Nothing.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Michaela here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Was it? Oh god, I hope it wasn't. It doesn't... Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. What? How strangely melancholy for something insignificant. Yeah, I hope that wasn't a super interesting conversation, because it doesn't bode well for what I got out of it. The fence blocks the path. No way on from here. Oh, that looks like something we can bust open with a crowbar. Pry bar, as it's called here. Nosefed. Well, that's that then.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
What does that mean? Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
The lieutenant raises the collar of his bomber jacket like a cool guy. Alright. Oh god, what's this?
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Let's try and look inside.
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase.
Kim, can you see inside?
No. I won't even try. You know,
He takes his glasses off.
I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
Oh dear. Can you still shoot though?
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Very short-sighted. Are we talking like Scooby-Doo Velma levels here, or...? Buzz hum. The electricity flows through the wires with audible power. I was going to do and or say something, but I've forgotten it now. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome. Let's call the helpline.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
I'm going to put 10 cents in and dial a random number.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this?
Probably not, but, you know, look at our track record.
End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. Yes, it's me, Pierre. I might be. What's Pierre like? No, this is not Pierre. Hang up. Yes, I am Pierre.
So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died.
Especially the animals. It gets lonely even when you're with people. That's not good. That's about what my brain's working on. What kind of pets did you have?
Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different. There. Chrysanthemum.
Who's Chrysanthemum?
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects.
Damn it, I wanted to know about your pets.
You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Well, I think we've all learnt something from that.
Winter, slow to let go of Revachol. Flecks some more wet snow from above.
Look around you.
The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring.
How does it feel?
The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. At least your hair is protected from getting wet and sticking together. You look around.
What's in the west?
More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles. Grey and red forgotten city blocks. What remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast. The waters turn black. Coal City in the shadow of San Martin. A boom town. Back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet.
What is there?
Below the old mines, L'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery. La Petite Ra braved the underground passageways. Le Royaume,
What are those, what?
where the Philippian kings were interred, with their doctors and their admirals. Mausoleums, burial chambers, leaf gold still remains on the double door of the morning.
You say all this like I'm supposed to know what it means.
Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums, and for fabled relics. Their parents let them. They go deeper.
Do they?
After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from sapphire
Still don't
and
feel like it's
sale
said that way.
during the time of the suzerain. In the burial chambers of the kings, Grand old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent.
You might just find cocaine in there.
2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all the kings. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure, magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty.
There is literally cocaine underground. Okay, fine.
Did someone say untold quantities of cocaine? Drop everything immediately and go looking for this hoard.
I would, but that's not an option. Wipe the snow from your shoulder.
Few Petira return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets. All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water.
Don't ever become an estate agent. What's in the east?
The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it.
Oh, yeah,
Martinez
makes
proper.
sense.
The district the police forgot to police. There is laughter,
Is there?
lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism.
I don't remember seeing much of that.
Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds.
Is that all?
Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king.
And further?
A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate. Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects off its hood.
I cannot wake up today. What's in the north?
The abandoned church, one of 2 remaining stave churches, which were collectively called Les Sept Sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the revolution.
Oh dear, what else?
A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet.
This is shit commentary, I
Unfortunates
do
on the run
apologise.
From the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather foul.
Do I have anything to say about little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged? No.
The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab scuttles among the debris, looking for a new shell.
Hermit crabs are cool.
Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection, way beyond Martinez, a popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids with equally ample pockets.
And on the other side of the inlet?
Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see that far.
Before that, before the curtains are drawn?
The Bay of Revachol, vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water air-brinier than here. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos, wild pines, Zam, Morian, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the Coalition warship Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market. You shudder.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. The market, what, the free market? What? Actually, don't tell me, I don't want Savoir Faire to start up again. What's in the south?
The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamro. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath the motorway attempt to carry on with their lives in the snow and the slush. And south of the 881 is the Pox.
Somebody told us what the Pox is, but remind me.
Was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center during a measles outbreak that killed many children. Most everyone has avoided the hospital and surrounding park ever since.
Oh dear.
The pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off.
But still.
Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on among the hastily abandoned supplies, or just to overdose in peace. A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance.
Wonder if Vic's found his heterosexual life partner yet.
The man in the fishnet wife beater looks over at Chester McLean.
Damn, I don't know. Even a real Brotherbound like that can't survive everything.
Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells.
No, it was home. I want more. Or at least something.
The stairs descend to central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there, in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning.
Nice. Can't really follow the logic there.
Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the Sarah Mauritian restaurant that offers homemade wine, and also on the brothels and drug dens, and the chop shops of the Zemlyaki.
A lot of snow then. Okay.
All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor, looking for something, like whiskers.
Why are they looking for whiskers?
A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet.
I guess we'll never know.
Somewhere in the south, tarpaulin flap in the wind.
Is that the plural for tarpaulin? Tarpaulins? Tarpaulin? A herd of tarpaulin. What's above me?
More coalition aerostatics. Occasionally, lights flash as they maneuver through the falling snow. One large airship carries crates in its belly.
Good for it. What's below me?
Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff. The storm drainage, hidden bunkers. Rats scuttle.
Tell me a secret of the sands, wind. Sands, wind?
Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it. But who knows?
Stomp your feet for warmth, brushing off the snow.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up.
Yeah, also, Jesus Christ. I hope I don't have to remember all that, or any of it. A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. You can imagine why. Calls become terrible sometimes. What do you mean by that? Oh dear, this coffee isn't fucking doing anything, is it? Right. Christ. A kick drum pulse. The music is coming from somewhere on the ice. Kick drum pulse. That sounds like something that an awake person would hear. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. Oh no. I do wish a very large building would fall on me, but that's not quite what you meant. The sign reads Saint Brune. See, I'm trying to do the accent. 11:47. Dusty pews in the shadows. Many seem to be missing. An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that. It's too dark to tell. It's probably dark then. What is like dark if it's not dark? What are you talking about? Where the fuck am I going? There's a yellow brick rock here with money in it. Why was there money in this rock? Okay. That's fine. These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. What's the whole machine? The building before you housed the engine must have been a big one. What engine? What? The chain trails off into the ocean to who knows where.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
Interfacing impossible. Open the door. Door unopenable. I remember this now. The door that seemingly cannot ever be opened. And you only get one go at it. What is this thing anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Used to service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot at the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Well, I wonder if that's just a troll thing that you can never actually do, or there is a way to do it. We probably won't find out. Although, our interfacing is... oh, I suppose it could be better. We will see. Mysterious door. Maybe something will come up. This barrel has been recently discarded. It still smells of fuel oil. Look at all this stuff. I was going to say nothing, but there is stuff. It's just sort of nothing stuff, though. So I guess either would have been fine to say. Is that not a real thing? Can I not... no. It says no. Hello. Aha! A white polo shirt. That will increase my rhetoric, but decrease my empathy. How did... does that make sense? I've never felt particularly rhetorical when wearing a white polo shirt. I haven't felt less empathetic either. People might have been less empathetic towards me, but... the boardwalk rises to your south. It casts its long shadow over you. Nothing wrong with a white polo shirt. There we go. That's my hard political stance for this game. You won't get another one like it. That's the hill I'm willing to die on. There's nothing wrong with a white polo shirt. What do you think about fascism and communism and the free market? Nothing wrong with a white polo shirt. Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock. Brand Tio. I'm not even going to try. There was a crumbly noise though. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. Strange that we can still tell. A rusted broken control box for the radio relay tower. The radio relay tower. Okay, this ladder is too rusty to climb. The sea air has eaten away at it. There's a box. With a tie. Oh, a scented scarf. +1 shivers, -2 physical instrument. Yeah. If you wear a dainty little scarf, you're less good at punching people. But more good at feeling stuff. This light springtime scarf smells like men's cologne mixed with cheap laundry detergent. Someone must have left it behind, probably from a date. Wear it if you want to delude yourself that spring has arrived. I don't want to do that. I want my crazy tie back. I want him to speak up more often. Maybe we should put more points into Inland Empire for that. Tiny inlets there, off in the far distance, where the posts trail toward. Okay. Prior playthroughs remind me that there is something around here somewhere, but it might not be just yet. You take a mental note. Tio... oh, I've got to try and say it. Tio Mautiri seems important somehow. That's a shame, because I certainly won't remember that. Tio Mautiri. Well, that's a dead end. can go around the back. I seem to remember you could go around the back of this. Am I immediately proven wrong? I always thought you could. Maybe I just always tried and was always proven wrong, and unhelpfully didn't remember the bit where I was proven wrong. That sounds about right. Let's explore some of this old shit that we've sort of wandered past. That's a coat.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Touch it.
The cloth, if you can still call it that, makes a soft crunching sound as you thrust your finger into it.
Ugh. Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth.
It's the name of my new band.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
It might be a clue.
A clue? You think our suspect is a seagull who's been defecating on unsuspecting jackets?
Yes. No. It could have been multiple seagulls.
The lieutenant sighs. You should still take it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna. Filthy jacket. Nice. Can we wear it? Oh, it's actually too filthy to wear. This filthy rag has been at the mercy of the elements for quite some time. It's streaked with seagull shit and abnormally stiff from God knows what natural processes. You can't even tell what brand it is.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it?
Yes, think about it.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it.
Ensconce is a good word.
It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore.
Gross, but what's the crust made of?
Somehow, it was carried or dragged to the boardwalk. If not by human hands, then perhaps the feral dogs that prowl the beaches at night.
Okay, that's pretty disgusting. I've had enough.
Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck.
Maybe if I wipe my hands on my pants, which I'm not wearing.
What? No. Then it'll just be on your pants. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
But I'm not wearing pants. Or trousers. Also, we got a new thought. Wompty Dumpty Dom Centre. Oh no. It only takes 42 minutes though. It's Wednesday evening and something heinously exciting is underway. I doubt that very much. People have gathered behind the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29-year-old Wunder twins, Guy and Keith Juiced, are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. It's the Wompty Dom Domiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSPVD. Oh dear, I'm so sorry, is it terminal? Where are you if you are not there? I don't know where the fuck I am. I've been all over the fucking place today. But at least there's money and tear. A makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. But did they succeed? I don't care, I'm just here to steal their money. That one's blue. Postcard, hooray. More of that. A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. Megabino's prescription lenses, +2 encyclopedia, -1 perception. That's odd, but okay. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. Tear. So, if we put these on, will Encyclopedia just start wrecking us? And just never shutting up. It's probably not quite high enough for that. Puts it up to 4. I do want to see just what... if it... the kind of inane shit it brings up. Although this stream has arguably been full of inane shit, so maybe it's not the best time. A big wine canister. It's open and empty. Hello. What? Oh god, what's... hang on, no.
There's some tear.
Bubbles.
An empty cigarette package and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
That's all very interesting, but first we have to look at these bubbles. Where's the other one gone? There was 2. No, I've lost the yellow one. Careful there, these floorboards look rotten and weak. You look rotten and weak. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
There's some tear. An empty cigarette package.
Examine the
and
tear.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find.
Well, that's fine. Take them. We take them.
No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
What? Do you really think we care about being unhygienic at this point?
A tragedy.
What? I don't... what? Examine the cigarette package. Why can't I get my tear? There's a lot of tear in there, which is a lot of money, potentially.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra.
Cool.
Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content.
Ah, interesting. Thank you. So that's the kind of thing where, yeah, Encyclopedia will just give you the facts about everything, whether you want to or not.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief.
The smell of...
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
Isn't it just a rotting fish? Hold on, that is awful. Cover your nose. What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that.
Who died?
Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear.
Kim, what's fear? I mean, that smell.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Eyes up, detective. Something's not right here.
We'll get to the bottom of this. If someone's died around here, we'll find out. This coin-operated viewer has been out of order for years. Yeah, that's what it wants you to think. Just so it can get away with murder. It's a long way down to your death from here. 20 meters at least. Did you kill them? Gravity? We'll find it one day. Stop messing with the coin viewer and hold on to something. The wind is so strong. Is it? Did the wind kill? The wind can kill. But if only we had some kind of evidence.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper.
Hello, sir.
Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the left leg. The fall has left him broken.
Excuse me?
Contorted like a sad puppet.
I know I'm not very with it today, but you very clearly said left leg. The physical instrument is supposedly saying right leg. This will not stand. Especially if you don't know which leg you're using. Anyway.
The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on.
The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer.
He stands
We
up
need
and
to investigate.
Alright. He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket. Are you trying to say to me, Kim, that this man is dead?
Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Oh my god, he's dead. Rifle through his pockets.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest.
Also, this is a bit Picasso, so I can't quite make it out, but has he died with his eyes wide open? That's unpleasant.
A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue? Oh no, this sounds terribly familiar.
Steal his keys.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Study the man.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine, or 1.5 of spirits. When damp, these boards are really slippery. Even a sober man could lose their balance here.
Loose their balance here. Sorry. I'm being a total grammar Nazi, but it just jumps out at me. Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze.
They do look frightening. I don't like the picture at all, I'll be honest with you.
Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years.
Oh, nice of you to fucking pipe up, visual calculus. Where have you been when we were trying to do something with the fence and stuff?
He was just about to head home. The first step back home proved to be his last.
Shouldn't have gone home then. Easy solution to that problem. Study the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
This man really liked chewing gum.
Be very, very careful where you step here.
Don't be careful where I step here.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile.
Jump up and down.
You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet.
Examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is where he came out of himself.
Excuse me?
Drop by drop, when he was unconscious. It took 3, maybe 4 minutes.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
Well, major wounds. No, it's hard to say.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly
Excuse
the
me?
shape of the bench.
Fatal, we say, over in this side of the... Actually, we don't. I don't know, because Revachol's fucking... Seems to be a kind of multilingual, semi-French, all over the place thing. Examine the bottle.
A .75 litre Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Shame.
It's mid-market spirits, with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Tear all around us.
And yet we can't pick it up. He looks at 2 other bottles near the coin-operated viewer, then at your yellow plastic bag.
I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
What? Oh, come on, Kim. I shot a corpse in the chest and then played around with his testicles. I did actually do that, yeah. Wow. Easy to forget these things. Anyway.
True. It feels disrespectful.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It does mean that, actually, yeah. Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Rubowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Why do we keep looking in people's mouths? Okay, fine, do it anyway.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too? Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth.
Nice.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
Step back.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Who is this man?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
He looks south the way you came.
But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
A dead working class man with a bottle in his hand? Don't deceive yourself. You know who this is.
We know who this is. It's the working class woman's missing husband dead on the boardwalk. Who wasn't missing but is now missing and is dead.
The woman you met at the book stand?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's her husband?
Because it matches the description to a T. The library card, he was supposed to return a book. Bottles all around him, pointing at the tear. She said he was drinking somewhere in Martinez. The leather jacket. It matches her description perfectly. Any of these.
The bright blue lining? Well, he's definitely someone's husband.
Why aren't you on my side here, Kim? What do you think happened here?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Should we arrest the bench? Could it be related to the lynching?
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Yes, but what if there's a killer on the loose? 2 suspicious deaths in such a short time frame.
We should consider the possibility that we're dealing with a sequence killer here.
A sequence killer? There's nothing that connects those 2 bodies. This is a completely different case. An accident.
Oh yeah? I know something that connects them to both the bodies. They're both dead, Kim. Sometimes the right answer is the most obvious one.
What if all of this is staged? He could have seen something that night in the yard.
What if all this is staged? What if he witnessed something that night in the yard?
It's possible, but let's take it step by step. We still haven't identified the man.
Could the man have been a kebab?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
I would not eat bags. Fuck's sake. You know, it's not false though. I wouldn't eat bags. I've never tried bag, but I can pretty confidently say I'm going to go the rest of my life without ever trying to eat bag. What I meant to say, which was something closer to an attempt at a joke, was that I wouldn't eat kebab from a place called The Pox, but you know, the moment's gone now. Do you think he was drunk? Point at the bottle.
Oh yes.
What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior.
Why are you reading my Tinder profile?
But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
I'll be the judge of that. Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
He smiles sourly, as if eating something sour. Right.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
What should we do with him? I think we should tip him over the edge.
From where I stand, I can see 2 options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Hold on, what about field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me.
That's what it looks like.
I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of sloppy?
Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest.
Sure, we found him. We should finish this. Take the case.
Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
Seems like a open and shut thing, because that's a postcard. That's not the folded library card. A library card found from a pocket of a dead man on Martinez Boardwalk. It's still slightly damp to the touch. The cover bears a stamp of Jamrock Public Library.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch.
That's
The front side
that's what I
reads,
just.
Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53.
So this is Billy Mejean. So now we know his name.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader.
It's Billy
You
Mejean.
find a
He
list
just
of
said.
books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the back side.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours 900 to 1800.
900. Is that how that's set? I don't do military times, but fine.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to go by.
Oh, goody. Well, that's another one for the kill count. I mean, the body count. No, the more dead. Full of holes. Could the posts hide treasure? Look inside. I will. Alcohol. Treasure indeed. And money. And money. And money. And money. And magnesium. And money. Wow. Well, that was quite a lot, actually. How very helpful. Also, I realised we didn't spot the money here. We were just throwing money away. Oh. Before you, a drawbridge. It can only be lowered from the other side. But money. A school of fish huddle around the fence post, then scatter into the dark. Right, well, I guess next time we'll do church and the drawbridge and all that stuff over there. Hold on, how are we even going to get to there if we can't go around the back of the church? I guess you must be able to go this way. Yes, that's how you do it then. Don't know why I forgot that.
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody?
No. I'm not going to have a seagull conversation. No one comes to mind.
You and the seagull are just alike.
Why am I like a seagull?
Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation. The The seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that paradise. Then their paradise became Shit City. And what did they do? They became urban survivors, eating burgers out of trash cans, killing and eating pigeons.
That does sound a lot like me, you're right.
No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters, just like you.
Hold on, have I ever eaten a burger out of the trash? Fucking right, whatever it takes to survive. I am the seagull. I guess I'm a bit like a seagull. But I'm not like that. I'm still romantic. No, I'm a fucking seagull. Fuck you.
Own it. Steal hot dogs. Shit in the sand. Whatever it takes to keep going.
Alright, my spirit... I've got 2 spirit animals now, technically, so this is getting a bit confusing. Is there a thought connected to that, or was that just a random... How do you feel about seagulls? Seagulls! Well, thanks for that, Endurance. You're really helping me out. It must have taken a lot of patience to do this. Yeah, it must have taken a lot of patience to watch this, if I'm perfectly honest. But nevertheless, we will call it there. Thanks for watching, if you did. Fucking... You know, give me some advice for better coffee. Coffee that actually works. Because, fuck. This was not on. This just was not on. But yeah, a lot of voice acting from Mr. Man that you could have possibly enjoyed, and just inane shit from me interjecting. Oh well. Every time there's a shit one, then the next one will just by relativity be better. So look forward to that. Christ.